I watched with interest the tabloids targeting her over months. And I never have an interest in the royal stories, but it was racist, it was sexist, it was divisive. And if I were her, I'd be gone.
OK. Dan would disagree.
Well, I would just say, anytime anyone says this, because, again, this is really dangerous rhetoric, so, Ricky, you've made that claim, can you provide one example of racist coverage of Meghan?
Well, I'd have to go back to the news coverage, but
you've just made a claim
I'll give you
like
two that are quoted. One of them, obviously, is the Danny Baker tweet with the chimp in it.
That's nothing to do with the media.
No.
And he said the other one was he knew nothing about it.
Here's what I think.
A Daily Mail headline which said something like "Straight Outta Compton," which is a rap record. So there's that flavour to it. But you're right to challenge Ricky, because actually it's more tone. Isn't it? Is that right?
It was tone, and also the fact was they were picking up on stories that would have been about any princess, about anyone running the royal family, things that could never be proven. The staff weren't happy. People didn't like her. Now, well, you're asking about proof. How do you prove that stuff?
Well, Ricky, you're talking rubbish, because I was the person that broke the story of Megxit.
That doesn't prove it.
I had so much hope that Meghan was going to be this great modernising force within the royal family, was going to be the woman that finished the work that Princess Diana started. When the coverage turned... Well, I'll tell you. When the coverage turned was when Harry and Meghan, who are meant to be non-political members of the royal family, started making very political comments, including, for example, criticising us, the great British public, for our carbon footprint, while taking 4 private jet flights in 11 days. They could have done so much. Instead, what have they gone to do? They've gone to America to chase the big money, flying on private jets, getting $1 million an appearance to go and speak to JP Morgan Chase. I do feel let down. I feel sad. I want them to stay.
I think Harry's got enough money. I don't think it was about that. And I think
why take $1 million from JP Morgan Chase to go and give a speech to a bunch of bankers in Miami then, Gemma?
I'm a bit like you. I'm not like a massive royalist or anything, but I really like Harry, and I from what I've seen of Meghan, she seems to be amazing. And I think there's a lot of misogyny wrapped up in this as well, because she's a bit different. She's refreshing. She's outspoken. She tries to take on certain issues, and then people are like, know your place, that's not for you. Whereas I thought she was very refreshing, and it's sad. And we've got...
Well, today we have to review the old video where Ricky Ross defended Harry and Meghan from the tabloids. An event that marked a significant turning point in the media's portrayal of the Sussexes, and a moment of truth that resonates even more strongly today. In a sea of relentless and toxic coverage, Ricky Ross took a stand. He challenged the media's obsession with Harry and Meghan, calling out the bullying and the constant scrutiny they faced. He dared to voice what many were thinking, but few had the courage to say. And yet, here we are, years later, and the situation has only intensified. The tabloids are even more relentless, their attacks more personal, their obsession more evident. They've turned a joyful moment into yet another opportunity to twist and manipulate the narrative about Harry and Meghan. Why are we looking back at that moment? It's because Harry and Meghan are now being attacked even more. The tabloids have gone wild after Harry and Meghan appeared at Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter tour. This is not a statement of surprise, rather it's a testament to the level of obsession we're witnessing. Instead of celebrating the joy, music and camaraderie of such an event, the media has chosen to focus on the Sussexes. Now, it's not the first time a royal has attended a concert, and it certainly won't be the last. But the level of scrutiny and the twisted narratives spun around this particular appearance are nothing short of staggering. The tabloids, in their relentless pursuit of sensationalism, have chosen to dissect every moment, every glance, every smile, turning a simple night out into fodder for their relentless gossip mills. And what for? To feed the public's insatiable appetite for royal drama? Or perhaps it's a more sinister motive, to continue their campaign of relentless bullying against Harry and Meghan. Every step they take, every move they make is under the microscope, and the media appears to be waiting bated breath for any opportunity to pounce. Now, let's consider the concert itself, Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter tour, a celebration of music, diversity and empowerment. Harry and Meghan, two individuals who have devoted their lives to public service and championing causes close to their hearts, attending an event that echoes their own values. Yet, this narrative is conveniently ignored by the tabloids, who instead choose to focus on their own fabricated drama. This obsession, this relentless pursuit, is not just unhealthy, it's toxic. It's a clear indication of the bullying that Ricky Ross boldly called out on live television. It's a painful truth that we're witnessing, and one that seems to have intensified over time. The reactions are too much, and that's why I just wanted to echo what Ricky Ross once said live on TV, that Harry and Meghan are bullied by the tabloids. It's high time we acknowledge this obsession for what it truly is, a relentless and toxic bullying campaign. It's a painful truth that is still happening. Especially in the past few days, we've seen it happening all over again. The relentless media scrutiny that Harry and Meghan are subjected to is a stark reminder of the invasive and often cruel nature of tabloid culture. Take, for instance, the recent brouhaha around their appearance at Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter tour. What should have been a celebration of music and camaraderie was turned into a field day for tabloids, who seemed more interested in dissecting the couple's every move rather than focusing on the event itself. Questions were raised, judgments were made, and once again Harry and Meghan were thrust into the limelight for all the wrong reasons. Similarly, their philanthropic efforts, rather than being appreciated, are often met with skepticism and cynicism. Whether it's their work on mental health or their initiatives for women empowerment, the couple's sincere endeavours are regularly overshadowed by a media more interested in scandal than substance. This obsession isn't just about Harry and Meghan, it's about a culture that thrives on negativity, that feeds on controversy, and that revels in tearing down public figures. It's about the unhealthy fascination with the private lives of celebrities, the relentless pursuit of sensationalism over facts, and the incessant need to criticise, ridicule, and judge. And who better to encapsulate this than Dan Wootton, the man who once dismissed Ricky Ross's concerns about media bullying, the same man who, today, seems to have made it his mission to critique Harry and Meghan at every turn. His recent rants, filled with bias and vitriol, only serve to highlight the very obsession Ricky Ross once spoke about. It's a bitter irony, really. In his quest to disprove Ricky Ross, Dan Wootton has only managed to prove him right. His relentless scrutiny and endless criticism of Harry and Meghan are the very epitome of the media obsession Ricky Ross was warning us about. And the irony, Dan Wootton, who resisted Ricky Ross's opinion and tried to dismiss it, is now proving Ricky right with his obsessive rants about Harry and Meghan. Ricky Ross called it perfectly. The tabloids are obsessed, and their desperation is showing. These were not just words thrown into the wind, but rather a poignant prediction that has since then become a reality. A reality that sees the media's insatiable obsession with Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, continue to escalate. In the face of this, Ricky Ross's defence of the couple has proven to be more than just accurate. It's become a rallying cry for those who believe in fairness and respect. Ross's words were not a mere critique of the media's treatment of the Duke and Duchess. No, they were a resounding call to arms against the relentless attacks, the constant scrutiny, and the unending vilification that the couple faces. His defence, though met with resistance and dismissal at the time, now rings with the clarity of a bell tolling the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is that the media's obsession with Harry and Meghan has not waned. If anything, it has grown, fed by a desperate need to fill column inches and airtime with sensationalized tales and unfounded speculation. The truth is that Harry and Meghan are not just subjects of the tabloids' relentless pursuit, they are victims of an invasive and cruel culture that seeks to tear them down at every turn. Yet, despite this, they continue to rise. They continue to live their lives, making a positive impact in the world, and showing their strength in the face of adversity. And so Ricky Ross was right. His words, dismissed at the time, have proven to be a beacon of truth in a sea of media distortion. His defense of Harry and Meghan has become a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and a reminder that we should always stand against injustice and unfairness. But Harry and Meghan continue to live their lives, happy and thriving, despite the endless attacks. And in this, we see the ultimate validation of Ricky Ross's defense. A couple who, despite the odds, continue to shine brightly in a world determined to cast them in shadow. Harry and Meghan continue to live their lives, happy and thriving despite the endless attacks. In the course of our discourse today, we've retraced the footsteps of an era not so distant, where Ricky Ross, in his profound wisdom, defended the Sussexes, Harry and Meghan, against a media that seemed, and still seems, to be in a ceaseless pursuit of scandal, controversy, and ultimately, their downfall. We've seen how this obsession has only intensified over time, reaching new heights of unhealthy fixation. The media's relentless gaze bore down on the couple, even at a joyous occasion like Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter tour, where instead of celebrating a moment of joy, the press chose to dissect, distort, and obsess over every minute detail. In this narrative, we've also revisited the painful truth that Ricky Ross was brave enough to articulate on live television. A truth that still resonates today, that Harry and Meghan are victims of an unyielding tabloid culture. This is a reality that has been particularly evident in recent days, with the media frenzy reaching fever pitch, leading us to echo Ricky Ross's words once more. And then we have Dan Wootton, a figure who at the time resisted Ricky Ross's opinion, attempted to dismiss it, only to now, ironically, prove Ricky's point with his incessant rants about Harry and Meghan. A case of life imitating art, perhaps. As we draw this discourse to a close, let's revisit Ricky Ross's astute observation. The tabloids are obsessed and their desperation is showing. It's as if they're stuck in a loop, unable to break free from their self-imposed narrative. Yet in the face of such adversity, Harry and Meghan continue to live their lives, exhibiting a resilience that is both admirable and inspiring. They've shown us that it is possible to rise above the noise, to focus on what truly matters: love, family, and the pursuit of happiness. Their story is a testament to the power of the human spirit, a beacon of hope for those who find themselves under the unforgiving glare of public scrutiny. So, as we conclude, let's remember that the truth, as Ricky Ross so eloquently pointed out, will always outshine hate. It's a reminder for us all to look beyond the headlines, to question the narrative, and to seek out the truth. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. And remember, truth will always outshine hate.